All right, welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready to start our reading section. And so you need to go ahead and grab out your reading notebook. I'm going to actually make this just a little taller. There we go. See a little bit more of it. And we are starting, of course, in our table of contents. Now I have so many things in my table of contents. I am already on the second page. We have also finished Unit 4 already. And so I'm going to mark this as Unit 5. Oops, not right there, right here. Unit 5. And in Unit 5, we're going to start with text structures. And the first one we have for text structures is going to be word choice. This is my next blank page, which I believe is page number 42. So if you want to go ahead and write that in your notebook, you are welcome to do so. And then once you've written it down in your notebook, go ahead and flip to that blank page so we can get started on our structures. All right, so here we go. As usual, if you need to make sure that you pause the video in order to keep up so that you can write down things, because I go a little too fast, feel free to make sure and do so. So I'm going to actually title this. I'm going to use lots of colors today. I'm super excited. All right, we're going to title this structures. And in this text structure, we are specifically looking at word choice. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world for word choice? Aren't words just words, Ms. Rocky? And yes, they are just plain old words, but sometimes authors choose very specific words. And you need to go ahead and write this part down. So authors choose, I'm going to make this next one in red because I really want you guys to remember this. Choose words carefully to help a reader feel or think a certain way. So authors are really, really specific and very intentional when they start writing down words, and they might change words several different times in order to make sure that they have that written down exactly like they want it. So we are going to do the bottom section, and we're going to go ahead and make a chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start our chart for our word choice text structure. This is a type of graphic organizer. So if your teacher talks about a graphic organizer in class, this is one of the ones that she is talking about. Now I'm following this red line down the side of my paper. Then I'm following a blue line over, and then there's a red line way over here. And that's going to be the other one that I followed down on the side of the paper as well. Right here, up at the top, I'm going to give myself 3 lines. You might need to make it more, maybe a few less, depends on how many lines you have on paper. And then I'm going to do one about halfway in between the two. So right here on the left, I'm going to say word and page. Over here on the right, we're going to talk about our feelings. I'm just kidding. We are going to talk about our feelings. But feelings, emotions, and for me, a lot of times, the word choice helps me have a picture in my head of what the author is trying to describe. Now, at this point in time, your teacher has probably read one of 2 books to you guys. They have either read A Bear's Life to you, or they have read Wolf Island. Now, if you have read one and not the other, don't panic. Your teacher will eventually be reading both of them to you, But we're going to go ahead and start with the bear's life. And then when we, about halfway through here, we're going to switch over to Wolf Islands. We have examples from both of those. So here we have a bear's life, and I have lots of notes in here from me reading through to find all of the text structures we're going to be doing this unit. But this is page, let's see if I can remember this correctly. Yes, page 1, page 2, and then I looked over here on page 3, and we're, oops, sorry, you guys are not looking at page 3. There we go. Page 3. The forest has everything bears need to live a full, rich life, but it takes a long time for cubs to learn everything they need to know. That text right there, a full, rich life, made me stop and think that maybe the author chose that text very, very specifically. So we're going to write down on our paper just the quick phrase, full, rich life. And this is on page 3. And I'm going to put a comma. And then I'm going to write Bear Life. It's a really short version of the title, but it helps me remember which book it is that I'm talking about. And when we're talking about that, I'm thinking, full, rich life. Something that's full and rich means that something that's happy, or they're content, or they're just really pleased with their life. They're not wanting for anything. So they're happy and content and pleased. That would be a very good description of word choice, where the author chose full, rich, and life to make me think that these bears are just really happy and content with where they're living and what they have. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a line right here. And I'm going to go look for another example in a bear's life. And so we said this is page 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see if I found, oh, there's my alarm. All right, as soon as stop that alarm. Oh, nope, I should have pressed. Hang on, I know which one I'm looking for. 15, 14, oh, 15, 14, this page. So I think it's page 15. So the beach can be a banquet for bears. This is what I was looking for, because when I'm thinking of a banquet for bears or a banquet for anybody, I have some very specific things that pop up into my head. So I'm going to write down right here, banquet for bears. And this is going to be on page, I think it's 3, 15, 16, page 16. I thought it was page 14. Page 16 of Bear Life. And when I'm thinking about a banquet of bears, there's a lot of different things that we can think of. And when you start taking tests, you might think it means one thing, but you have to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the test maker and think, oh, what does the test maker think of a banquet of bears? So you're looking at Miss Rogge, and Miss Rogge has picked banquet for bears. So what do you think I think a banquet of bears should be? Or banquet for bears should be? Or what I'm thinking of when I what picture or feeling does it evoke? And if you wrote down lots of food everywhere, you are absolutely correct. I think of a banquet and I think of just food all spread across an entire table. Just everywhere that you can possibly think of, there's food. So that is another example for banquet or for a bear's life. Now, some of you might have read instead Wolf Island. And again, if you need to pause this in order to finish writing down what I've written, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, we're moving on. Here we have Wolf Island. And Wolf Island had some really interesting word choices as well. This is the same author, Ian McAllister and Nicholas Reed, and they both wrote a couple of different books. So page 1, page 2, and it says the Great Bear Rainforest is a majestic place full of tall trees, huge bears, and endless schools of salmon. There are so many different word choices on this one page that just make me think of all kinds of things. So let's go ahead and start writing those down. So I think majestic. So that majestic island is one of the word choices. Huge bears is another good word choice. Endless schools of salmon. All three of those are just really descriptive, very specific words that we found on page 2 of Wolf Island. Okay. And so when I'm thinking of this on Wolf Island, I'm thinking of like, what does majestic make you think of? What does majestic make you think of? If you're thinking of something that's majestic, I think of something that's beautiful. Huge bears. If I'm looking at huge bears, I mean, little baby bears are really cute, but huge bears? I don't think I would want to meet those. They what I would consider as dangerous. And then this last one, the endless schools of salmon. They're full of life. Salmon is a type of fish. So they're full of life and food. So I have 3 different sections, majestic, huge bears, endless schools of salmon, and they mean 3 different things. That's all from just one page. All right, so we have one last section that we're going to do, one last example from Wolf Island. So we said page 1 and 2. Let's see if I can keep count correctly this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for page 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So page 8. We had to take a quick break because I got something in the back of my throat and had to go drink some water. And all right, let's talk about page 8. Each April, the water near the shores of the island in the Great Bear Rainforest turns a milky turquoise color because of all the herring eggs that have been laid. They are no bigger than sprinkles on a cupcake. But when there are millions of them, they are a feast. When the wolf bit into them, the eggs popped and crackled between his sharp teeth, and in no time he was full. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of different vocabulary or word choice that the author used in there to make you think of specific pictures and make you think of how the wolf probably felt while he was looking at these eggs. But the one section I'm going to focus in on is eggs popped and crackled between his sharp teeth. So we're going to go ahead and write that down in our final section of the word and page. And the eggs popped and crackled between his sharp teeth. Now we said that was on page 8 of Wolf Island. All right. Now I'm thinking, when things are popping and crackling, what do I think of? What foods do I eat that could pop and crackle? Well, I don't know if anybody's ever had any Pop Rocks. They might be, a little out of date for you guys, but there's a candy that I ate when I was a little kid, and I almost wrote Pop and Crackle, but I'm talking about Pop Rocks. I apparently can't spell today. Pop Rocks, and when you put them in your mouth and you bit down on them, like you could hear them inside your mouth, inside your head going, and popping and crackling. The other thing that I think of is like Rice Krispies. If anybody's ever eaten any of those Rice Krispies, in fact, the three little elves on the Rice Krispie box, they're named Snap, Crackle, and Pop. So I think of Rice Krispies because those usually pop and crackle when I bite into them as well for that cereal in the morning. So I'm thinking that the wolf might not only enjoy eating those, but he enjoys that feeling that he gets, that tingly feeling inside his mouth. Oh, that's another good one. Tingly feeling inside your mouth. All right, and that is your notes for your word structure, or your word choice, your text structure, word choice. And next time, we are going to start talking about text structures with descriptive and more specific text structures. This is technically not really a text structure, but we're including it in this group anyway.